welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on our DIY floors, how much it costs, how long it took us, and a couple lessons learned on doing DIY floors. It was our first time, and there were a few things that I would have done differently if I would have known. So I'm hoping to share this knowledge so anyone who's interested in doing it, maybe it just gives you a little more insight before you take on the task. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else you guys want to hear from me, any other type of content you want to hear from me. We purchased our home in September of 2020, and it came with carpet flooring and like the vinyl, like that sheet vinyl floor in the home. Those were the basic, you know, floor offerings that came with the house. So we decided to do our floors ourselves instead of having the builder put in floors for us. We decided that because our quoted price for the builder putting in floors was $10,780. So I was like, you know, I don't want to do that. We're gonna have to make something else do what it do. So we decided that we were gonna have the floors put in after the fact. We reached out to a couple different contractors and got quotes on how much it would be for them to come put the floor in for us. Those prices weren't that much better. It was still a little steep, and I'm just like, we not doing that. So that's a little background. So I will start with how long this took us, how much we paid, and then I'll give you guys a few takeaways if you're interested in doing something similar yourself. So first, how long it took us. Our plan was to have our floor on the main area done. I say the main area, that's the main floor that has the kitchen and the living room and the dining room, which is where I'm sitting right now. Our plan was to have that area done in 2 weeks. Child, it was not done in no 2 weeks. It literally took us 5 weeks to finish one floor in our master bedroom, which is what we have finished right now. That took us 5 weeks. And let me tell you why. You know, that whole, I'm gonna work full time and then come home and do manual labor for hours daily is for the strong of heart. It wasn't for us. Like, you know, my fiance was pretty good about it, about being consistent and like coming home and working, but even I would like feel bad seeing him get off of work to come home and do more work. My takeaway from that is, if you can, take PTO, take off of work and do that and give yourself, you know, some grace as far as trying to get it done. If we had full, you know, 10-hour days of doing it, I feel like we would have cut our time in half. But at the time, we were, you know, sleeping at our apartment that we still had rented out for another 2 weeks, and then driving over to the house to work. Don't be trying to work, you know, back to back like that. It will burn you out, and I think that is what happened to us, and that's why it took us so long to complete. There were a lot of hidden costs with doing DIY floors that I feel like aren't as often talked about on like some of the videos that I've seen. One of those hidden costs would be junk removal. For us, you know, we don't own a pickup truck. So I was looking at junk removal companies. I live in a major metro area. They were charging $300 base price to come pick up the materials that we ripped up off the floor. And I'm like, $300? You know, that's a lot of money. It's something to keep in mind when you're planning out doing DIY floors, is you really need to look at all the different aspects of things you have to pay for. So the other things that we ended up having to pay for that we weren't really thinking about in the beginning is we had to pay our contractor. We had to pay our contractor to remove our toilet and sink so we could do the floor and the half bath, pay him to put it back in. And we ended up paying him to do our quarter round. We paid him to do our quarter round because after pricing out how much it would have cost us to get a staple gun and a miter saw and all these different items we would have needed to do the quarter round ourselves, Our contractor that we use is a family friend and is so affordable that it just didn't make sense for us to buy those items and do it ourselves when he can come and do it in a day, which is what he did. So costs like that, you need to think about and plan on going into it so you know how much money you're gonna spend. So I wanna give you guys a breakdown of exact numbers that we spent. So on our flooring and our underlayment, we purchased them both from Floor & Decor. We spent $2,700. On junk removal, we used Bruce's coworker came and picked up the junk for us, and we paid him $50 each time he made a trip. So we paid him $100 for junk removal. Tools that we ended up purchasing, we had to buy a shop vac. We had to buy a isolating tool, I believe it's called. We had to buy the tool that I used to pull the staples out the floor. We had to buy knee pads, gloves. We had to buy things like that. We spent $135 on tools. We spent $300 on our contractor. We spent $115 on our quarter round. We are not finished with our downstairs room yet. When we finish our downstairs room, the additional materials cost for that will bring our total to $3,650. We saved $7,130. That is a lot of money. And I'm really glad that we decided to do this. I feel like it was totally, like seeing the end result now, it was totally worth, you know, being uncomfortable for a couple of weeks, you know, with the construction zone that was our house. A few quick takeaways, again, for anyone who is considering doing this. The cleanup, like I said before, remember that you'll either end up having to come out of pocket for that, and that you'll have to do an extensive amount of cleaning. There's gonna be dust everywhere. It's gonna be staples. It's a lot of cleaning. We literally had to clean our cabinets and stove and countertops and fridge multiple times because they would end up covered with dust while he was like, you know, cutting the vents for the floors or like doing things. It was just super dusty in here. So keep that in mind. Skill level, it is not as easy as everybody tries to make it seem. Okay, if you watched my floor transformation video, you know that I ended up not having the gift of laying flooring. My fiance did most of the laying of the floor, but you know, laying the floor it's kind of a knack to getting it right. And even demo for me took a lot of physical ability. We had plywood on our floor that was covered in vinyl, and so we had to rip the plywood up to be able to put the new floor down. That is a lot of work. Just effort wise, keep that in mind. If you're doing a big floor like us, I think the square foot of this area might be 900 square foot. That's a lot of work. So just keep that in mind. Time, we already touched on time. It will take you, you know, it may take you longer than you expected, so just be prepared for that. And then planning, making sure you know what you need to buy before you start, because once you start and you run into Lowe's and Home Depot every 5 seconds to get the things you need, it's gonna get real old real fast. So just try your best to like buy everything that you need in the beginning. And even if it's like, oh, like I thought I needed this, but I didn't, keep your receipt and take it back. That's what I wish I would have done. And yeah, those are my takeaways. Those are the things I feel like we learned. Do I feel like it's worth it? Absolutely. What, $7,000? Yes, absolutely worth it. I would do it again. Bruce did most of the works though, so I hope Bruce would do it again too, but I would definitely do it again. I feel like we saved a lot of money, and that is kind of a good way to start off in your home. And I think it also gave us a lot of confidence to do other things in our home too. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, please like this video, leave any questions, comments, concerns below, and thanks so much for watching, guys.